swapped over bikes now. I'm on the MIKU, which is a sub-brand of Sunra, and they're doing some funky looking stuff like this MIKU Super. It's a bit like the Honda Grom, sort of same dimensions, same sort of look, same sort of clientele that's going to ride them. Plenty of scope for customising these sort of things. Like all the swinging arm, if you can see the bike right in front, the swinging arm and the motor cover and stuff is all in alloy. So you can get all that sort of stuff anodised. They're actually working with a couple of customisation companies to develop some nice looking parts from, which will be good. That's the thing with electrics as well. From a dealer's point of view, you'll sell the bike, servicing nothing like on a petrol vehicle. You've got sort of yearly service just to grease your brakes. Well, probably best not to grease your brakes really. Just to grease things and check things over. There's not really much to do to them. You're not going to sell any exhaust for them. So years to come, all the aftermarket exhaust companies have gone bust. There are tuning products where basically plug and play and get a bit of performance for certain models, which will probably become a bit bigger, although legislation is going to tighten things down on that. Other than that, you're not selling tuning kits for them like you would on a 50 or 125. It's a bit of a one-trick pony really. You sell the scoot or the bike and that's it. That's your money gone as a dealer. So it'd be interesting to see how things progress for the aftermarket industries in the next decade or so as things become more and more electrified. And the same for things like oil companies. That's got less and less as people have moved from 2-stroke to 4-stroke, moving from 4-stroke to electric. Anyway, back to the MIKU Super. MIKU Super. It's a super little thing actually. It's twist and go, so it rides exactly the same as the Sunra. You've got combined braking, so you can do everything on your left fingers to stop the bike. And it is a really good strong brake on that. Also got the front brake there, which can operate independently, as with most scooters really. It picks up really nicely. It feels quite neutral. The weight's all in the sort of below where the tank could be, because that's where the two batteries are stood up. So the weight sits nice and low down, and it's, you can throw it about a bit. Obviously it's got a bike sort of riding position, so you've got pegs rather than footboards to put your feet on. It's just a different twist and go, but quite a good one. It's got a few nice touches as well on this, like the LED lights in the tank at the side, so people see at night. It looks a bit trick as well. Impatient car drivers. So if you're looking for an alternative to a scooter, but you don't want gears, you don't want an engine, then the MIKU Super is probably a nice choice. It's pretty unique really. I know you've got things like Super SoCo electrics that's bike style, of course the Zeros and things like that, but this is just a different sort of funky machine. Goes along the same lines as the Honda Grom and the Monkey Bike, that kind of feel. It's just a little bit different to the norm, which is a good thing in a day and age where most things are pretty mundane and very samey. A lot of modern scooters, it's like buying a fridge. Look for what range it's got, how good it is on electric, what rating it's got, power, how much space under the seat. So it's nice to have something that looks a little bit different and gives kids a bit of individuality. And something like this around the city, or even if you're a rural owner, you've got quite a good range on it. About 84 miles I think. Cool, that's 60 odd in real life riding. And it's a cheap runabout. And a good alternative to a petrol 125 that's going to need fueling up all the time. Kids loving it. So if you're looking for something a little bit different, then the MIKU is quite a good option. If you're looking for an electric scooter, then Sunra is worth looking at. New to the UK, but certainly not a new company. They've been going for 20 odd years. Really big in China. They've got quite a lot of designs, but this is the hand-picked range for the UK at the minute. There are another couple of machines coming along as well. There's going to be a 400cc MIKU in a couple of years. 50cc funky looking MIKU as well. Bit of a cross between a skateboard and a scooter really, with a quite open back end. So it's worth looking around for a MIKU or Sunra dealer. We've got about 16 at the minute across the UK. You can also buy direct from their website, and they will be moving further across the country as they get more established. The firm was only started in 2020, just before lockdown, so obviously they're a year behind where they should have been. Not been able to get out and see dealers until recently, and they're just growing nice and steadily. At least people are getting a bit more used to seeing electric things on the road though. Now that most towns and cities, or a lot of towns and cities, have the higher fleets of electric stand-up scooters, it's become a bit more normal to be looking where you're going when you're walking about, or else you're going to just die. I can't understand though why they've allowed these electric scooters to be hired in towns and cities without making it mandatory for a helmet. It's certain, I mean, there's already people being killed in the UK, either riding them or being hit by them. But if people were forced to wear a helmet, it'd certainly improve safety for the rider anyway, not necessarily for the general public who are walking about. Been bought in from the start rather than waiting until they're that popular that everyone's using them and then try to get everybody to wear a helmet because everyone's dying. Been riding around this circuit in town just doing some photos and stuff, and the amount of people that just stop and ask you what they are, if they're electric, where they can get one. There is a lot of interest in them. Whereas if you were just riding around on a ordinary 125 or just any old scooter, people wouldn't even give you a second glance. It's just because they look a bit different, especially the bike here, the MIKU. It's just a talking point. Just had an old bloke in his Jaguar stop at the side of us asking what they were and where he could get one. He says, oh, I could just do one of them. Probably about mid-80s, I would have thought. Also had kids looking at them, pointing and that sort of stuff. So they do sort of cross generations. And of course something like this is ideal for people who've got a motorhome or something. It's nice and compact, not too heavy. Stick it in the back of your motorhome and you've got something to ride when you get to wherever you're going. So that's the end of our test ride on the Sunra and the MIKU. You can read all about it on SLUK. Just going to ScooterLab.UK.